Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we are diving into the fascinating world of large language models, LLMs, and how they process text to generate human like responses. So, everyone might have used ChatGPT, but ChatGPT is an application which is built on top of LLM. So the interface which you see for ChatGPT, that's an application. But behind the scene, there is some LLM called GPT-3, GPT-4, which is actually responding back to you. Yeah, let's say user is actually asking a question, what's weather today? So behind the scene, large language model processes it and then provides you output. Today we are actually going to discuss about this particular middle box large language model, what really happens inside it and what are the steps before it actually provides you response. So understanding how LLMs processes text and generate responses, and the responses are human like responses. So these are high level tasks which LLM does. So first is the prompt. User ask a question, and then there is something called tokenization, token embedding, LLM processing, response generation, and output. These are the high level categories, and let's dig into each of them. First step is tokenization. Imagine you are giving an LLM a sentence like, what is weather today? The first thing it does is chop it up into smaller pieces called tokens. Think of it like slicing a pizza into individual slices. Each token represents a word or a part of word. For example, in our question, what is the weather might be broken into tokens like what is the weather, and then comes token embedding. So so now each token gets assigned a numerical value. This is called token embedding. It's like giving each word a unique identity card. These numbers help the LLM understand the meaning and context of the words. So basically, each word will get a unique identity number, which LLMs can understand for further processing. Yeah, understanding relationships. That's the next step. So before understanding this step, we need to understand that most of the LLMs today, either it might be GPT-3, GPT-4, Palm, Metas, Llama, all these are based on transformer architecture. So this is where the magic of transformers happen. So imagine a classroom full of students. Each student is nothing but a token, is trying to understand how they relate to others. Self attention is like a teacher who helps everyone understand their place in the conversation. The LLM figures out which words are most important and how they connect to each other. In our example, it figures out that whether is important in relation to what is and assigns a higher attention score. The next step is layered processing. Think of the LLM as a multi story building. Each floor layer has a different job. The lower floor focuses on basic word meaning, while the higher floors understand more complex relationships and context. It's like learning to crawl before you can walk and run. And the other part is the model doesn't search for vectors in its databases. It actually uses its internal knowledge to understand and processes the data. This is where the training comes into picture. Training for LLM comes into picture. Unlike a search engine that looks for information outside, LLMs uses its own internal knowledge. It's like having a massive library in its head. When you ask a question, it searches its library and uses the information it already knows, and then generates the response. Final step is generating the response. After all this processing, LLM is ready to give you an answer. It predicts next word based on what it's learned, and it keeps predicting until it forms a complete sentence. After all this processing, the LLM is ready to give you an answer. It predicts the next word based on what it learned, and it keeps predicting until it forms a complete sentence. It's like writing a story one word at a time. So in our example, the weather in New York is, and it starts to complete everything. So in conclusion, when you ask ChatGPT a question, it doesn't look for a similar answer from a database. Instead, it uses its transformer based architecture to understand your question. The model breaks input into tokens, which is nothing but small parts, and turns them into numbers, which are vectors, and then processes them through multiple layers. The transformer's self attention mechanism helps the model figure out which part of your sentences are important and how words relate to each other. It understands the meaning, it uses its internal knowledge, the knowledge it gained while training, to generate the response step by step without needing to search for information outside. That's how, when you actually ask a question to ChatGPT, it is able to respond back to you. These are the high level steps which actually happens behind the scenes when you actually ask a question to ChatGPT. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate if you can subscribe to the channel. Thank you.